Hey guys, welcome back. So let's finish talking to Senor Vatras
Mustn't believe everything you hear.
about the missing people.
About those missing people,
Yes?
Give me some info.
where should I start looking for them?
Most of those people disappeared down by the harbor. That's probably where you should start your search.
Let me tell you what I know.
What have you found out?
Nothing important so far.
Not touching that.
Go away, don't tell me that.
Now, I want to quickly check something. Okay, so we're almost leveling up. Good.
Didn't deserve that.
I'm asking for your blessing.
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
Go with the blessing of Adanos, my son.
I've got my own opinion about
Yeah,
that.
okay. Can you teach me something
Can you
about
teach me
magic?
something about magic?
Only the chosen of Innos and the chosen of Adanos are permitted to work rune magic.
Really, how
But common mortals can also work magic with the help of spell scrolls. I can show you how you can channel and expand your magic powers.
But he knew
Mhm,
that all along.
mhm.
Nobody wants to know.
I want to increase my magic powers.
Tell me you didn't know.
I'm actually gonna do that. So I'm gonna justify my
get away with
decision in a second.
he simply talks too
Now,
much.
okie dokie.
I've got my own opinion about
Can't
that.
rely on that.
Where can I find a priest of Innos?
The best thing would be to look around the marketplace. You will find an emissary of the monastery there.
If I hadn't seen it with my
I never
own
knew
eyes.
that.
Tell me about the gods.
What exactly would you like to know?
I don't believe that.
That's all just gossip.
Tell me about Beliar.
So you
Beliar is the dark god of death, destruction, and all things unnatural. He is in eternal battle with Innos, but Adanos guards the balance between the two. Only a few humans follow the call of Beliar. However, he grants great strength to those who do.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
Tell me about Adanos.
Adanos is the god of the center. He is the scales of justice and guardian of the balance between Innos and Beliar. He commands the power of change. His gift is the water in all the oceans, rivers, and lakes. His priests are the water mages, just as I am a servant and priest of Adanos.
Someone's got to do the work.
Tell me about Innos.
Very well.
That was quite obvious.
Innos is the first and highest god. He created the sun and the world. He commands light and fire, his gifts to humanity. He is law and justice. His priests are the magicians of fire. The paladins are his warriors.
It's a bad business. I can't
Okay, he can also heal you.
Done that.
Can you heal me?
You do not require healing magic at this time.
Okay, and if you want to make a donation, nothing really happens as far as I know. I'm gonna test it later, so there is a reason why I invested a few points in mana. Now, I want to get mana to 34, dexterity to 34, and strength to 34. But mana is the first I really want to get to 34,
Someone's
and
gotta do the work.
seems counterintuitive because we are not a magician at this time, so we don't really need mana, right? Well, there's a reason behind that actually, and one of the reasons is that we're gonna talk to a fire mage pretty soon,
Honestly,
and I really want to get his blessings. And I'm gonna show you a cool secret in the game where you can get a lot of buffs in the beginning if you have 1,000 gold pieces. Now,
I'm in enough trouble.
It's no secret.
after you get all of the buffs from the magician, one of them will be a permanent increase to 2 mana points. So, because I'm kind of a min-maxing player sometimes, I just want to make sure that my mana is at 34 when I get 2 extra mana points.
I'm Brian. I'm Master Harrod's apprentice.
if I hadn't
Hey,
seen
Brian.
it with my own eyes.
What's it like to be the smith's apprentice?
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Maybe.
Why not?
better
I'm
shut
almost
up.
done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the
I
city.
believe this is gonna change.
But not because of Harrod. He is a good master.
I don't
I've learned a
believe
lot
that.
from him.
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harrod. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice.
Too much.
Who are the other masters?
Well, there's Thorben the carpenter, Bosper the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Matteo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street, and Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
Go away. Don't
Tell me more about Master Harrod.
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
I've heard a thing or two.
What can I get from you?
I can sell you some steel billets.
Don't tell this to anyone.
And yeah, you really want to buy steel
What
billets.
can I get?
I can sell...
And here's the thing, in Gothic, I highly recommend you choose one merchant and use that merchant and that merchant alone to sell your
He
stuff.
can't keep
Okay?
anything to himself.
So there's a reason for this. If you accidentally sell something you don't like,
Knows by now.
sell something by accident or something that you might
Really, how interesting.
find out that you need in a quest later on, you know exactly where to go. There are a lot of merchants in the game. There are 50 or 60 merchants, so if you actually lose something, you might have a hard time tracking it down. So I'm gonna use Brian for the entirety of the game to sell my stuff. That's gonna be the plan for me, okay? Now, what did I wanna... where did I wanna go? Oh yeah, talk to Harrod, the blacksmith. If he... nope, I think he went to bed because it's 10 o'clock. Okay then. We have a lot of quests already, so let's take Thorben's hammer and saw so we can sell them later for gold. Now, here is Gritta. Let's save the game, and this is one of the more annoying NPCs in the game.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Gritta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorben.
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband. Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Wealth, happiness. Sometimes we were even invited to high society events. The festivities, all the beautiful clothes and hairdos, the fine dining and civilized conversations. Everything was better back then. No one would have dared to humiliate the heart of a poor widow with such
Oh, and she's gonna go on for a while.
ridiculous claims. Whatever shall I do? My pension is barely enough to make ends meet, and times are getting even rougher. One sees it everywhere. People must scrimp and save. It's been weeks since the last ship came to town. My husband was the captain of a merchant ship. Actually, he even owned the ship. From his long journeys, he always brought me presents. Exquisite fabrics from the mainland, precious spices from the southern countries.
Her mouth is really, really weird.
Most people haven't even heard of these things. But then, one day, I got the tidings that the Gritta had sunk. That was the name of the ship. My husband called it that out of love for me. I wept and prayed that my husband had survived the disaster. Every day I hoped to hear from him, But all my longing was in vain. May Innes have mercy on his soul. May he rest in peace. Since that time, I have been living under these modest circumstances. And now this soulless, callous Matteo is after the last bit of my life savings. Please have mercy on a poor woman. Back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband. Such a good man he was. Such a fine...
Okay, so basically the dialogue just repeats until you choose this option.
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
Now, if you want to be a goody two-shoes, and I do recommend you be one, but it's your choice how you want to roleplay this one. I'm gonna pay the sum for her.
I'm gonna pay the sum for you.
You would do that for me? Oh, I knew you weren't a greedy bastard like that Matteo.
Yeah, never mind.
Come back once you've taken care of that. I want to show you my gratitude.
How's it going?
Same as always, but I don't want to complain.
So, fun fact, if you do choose the violent option, and aka beating it out of her, she does have the 100 gold pieces on her, just so you know. But, because we want to roleplay a decent person, well, with some people, let's say, I'm not gonna beat up a poor old widow, come on.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
You want to pay for her? I'd have preferred it if you'd squeezed it out of her. Still, 100 gold pieces is 100 gold pieces. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Yeah, okay.
Show me your wares.
Now, what do you have, Matteo? Nothing particularly useful to me right now. Let's just quickly pop a torch so we have a bit more light. So we talked to Bosper. We completed that quest. It's nearly midnight. Now, one option at this point would be to sleep it off, and that's, I think, what I'm exactly gonna do right now. We have a couple of places to sleep. We can either sleep in Edda's house, I think. I think she doesn't mind that if you sleep in her house, or we can go to the hotel.
Really, how interesting.
Now, let's see. Hey, Edda, do you mind if I, You don't mind, do you? Okay, if she doesn't say anything, it means she doesn't mind. Okay, so quick save the game. Let's sleep until the morning.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. I won't tell.
Okay. Now, what do I want to do today? Oh yes, I know exactly what I want to do today. Let's talk to Edda first.
Could you cook me some soup?
Bring me a fish, and I'll cook you a tasty soup.
Bring you a fish, you say? Now, where I wonder could I possibly find a fish? So many fishing nets around here, and these are the paladins of the king. And if we go down this pier over here, we're gonna come to a small beach with a lot of fish. Now, today, here's the plan, guys. Today we're gonna talk to Bartok and take a hunting excursion. So, Bosper gets its skins. We'll also get some XP in the process. We can also find some nice clams. Okay. That was a weird jumping animation. A clam here, a clam there. This is how we basically build our empire. One clam and fish at a time. Okay. And we have a fish for Edda. I just love the habit of just delivering her fish every day. So she cooks some fish soup for us. Okay. We don't have a lot of healing items, but then again, at this point in the game, we don't have a lot of hit points either, so damage is gonna be so-so. Now, the plan is we go to Bartok, we take a hunting excursion,
He really did.
And we're also going to talk to Harad, because Harad is going to have a very difficult quest for us that you can actually complete in 3 ways. We're going to choose the difficult way because it's the most experience rewarding way.
Could you cook me some soup?
Nothing could.
Thank you, Edda. So what she does is basically takes a fish and transforms it into a fish soup, which basically heals 10 hit points. In the grand scheme of things, it's completely irrelevant. You don't have to do it. I just love the fact that the game presents something like that to you. I think in Gothic Arkelos, if I remember right, it gives you the option to make your own fish soup. Now we're gonna talk to Mr. Harad over here.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
When can I start as your apprentice?
Not before you've proven to me that you're good for something.
When can I start?
Not.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different master?
The other masters may well approve, but I will only give you my approval when you first prove that you're good for something.
Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice, provided the other masters agree.
Let's talk again about that orc thing.
What?
Your orc is as good as dead.
Good. Then stop wasting your breath and let your deeds speak for themselves.
When can I start as your apprentice?
Not before.
Okay, so you have a couple of options with Harad. You can talk again about the orc thing, and you can say, well, the quest is a bit too hard for me, can you give me something easier? That's one option. But I don't think it yields as much experience as this one. So there are 3 ways we can do this quest, the Orc Challenge. There is a cave. If you exit this city through that gate at the end of the walkway and you go left, you will find a cave. And in that cave you can find basically an orc weapon just by itself, and there are a few bandits in that cave, but you can, if you are quick enough, you can just get the orc weapon pretty fast. The second option would be to just exit the city, go to the landowner and buy an orc weapon. The third option, and this is the option we are gonna take.
Wait a minute.
Let's talk to Bartok. And why don't we go hunting together?
Why don't we go hunting together?
With 2, it isn't so dangerous, that's true. Do you know anything about hunting then? I mean, do you know how to skin an animal?
Yes.
All right, but I want to see 50 gold pieces. For that, you can keep the skins and sell them to Busper. That's a fair deal, isn't it?
Here they are. Let's go hunting.
All right, follow me. Outside the south gate is a wood where we should find more than enough critters. Probably more than we'd like.
Now, I want to quickly save the game right here. Okay, sorry about that. My cat Loki was begging for some food because he's a very hungry kitten. Well, I say kitten, but he's actually
And the human
pretty big.
slew the beast.
Jesus, Watchers,
and
you
it
are really
entered
loud.
into Beliar's realm.
But then again, you're a preacher. So, we know from what the farmers told us, so cute little detail, just pay attention to everything that's said in the game because it's really valuable. We know from the farmers that there is an orc outside the city. Herod wants an orc weapon. See the connection? Now, few ways to actually get a orc weapon. You can buy it. You can kill an orc, either solo or how we're doing this with Bartok right now.
Another one of those things.
Or you can just go to the mercenaries farm, talk to Cypher, and buy an orc weapon from him. Or alternatively, if you feel badass enough, just try to beat Cypher in single combat. Now, there are 4 challenges along this route. And the first challenge is this pack of wolves right here. So, we are doing this at level 3. You do not need to do this at level 3. I'm just insane. Do not be insane like me. But you do really need to help Bartok in this fight because he can easily die. So try to aggro some wolves if possible to take the aggro off him. Okay. 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 Bartok is fine. So cool thing that NPCs do in Gothic 2 now, if they do have healing items on them, they will use them with priority. So first they're gonna use healing potions. Then they're gonna use food if they have it.
Nothing to be had there.
And when they have the follower status or the leader status in this case,
nothing there.
You can actually talk to them.
So what do you think? Should we go farther into the woods or not?
Of course.
Let's go on.
All right.
Wait a minute.
If you talk to him, you have the option to give him a healing potion, which is super neat. So you can actually keep them alive. Now the second challenge is this shadow beast up ahead that's snoring. Now hopefully Bartok can kill him with his bow. Okay, he took one big hit in. And because Bartok is not healing, he's not healing because he doesn't have any more healing items to use.
Nothing to be had there.
And because we're gonna eventually join Bospor as our main master, we're gonna sell all of our skins to him for full value. This basically means that if a skin is worth 250 gold pieces, like this Shadow Beast skin, we're gonna earn 250 gold pieces. And we're choosing Bospor because he's basically one of the best. There's only really 2 choices in the game. That's the sad part. Okay, now for a challenge, the orc. Okay. Didn't give a lot of experience, only 150. Huh. I expected more. I wonder. Is it because he's an orc scout?
Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing to be had there.
Who knows. Okay, Bartok is gonna stop right there. Now, the final challenge we have is to take out this goblin camp. Now, this goblin camp has 5 black goblins. Now, ideally, what we're gonna do is just kite the goblins along Bospor. We can actually pull a couple of goblins. Okay. Managed to archer one to death, which is great. Perfect. Now, this means that there are 3 goblins left. Now, we're just gonna pull the last 3 goblins, and Bartok is basically gonna kill them for us, and we've almost leveled up. 700 more experience points and something, and we're gonna level up. Now, Bartok, hopefully, draw your bow. Your weapon. Don't really give a crap. Just help me out here, man. Okay.
All right. So
And
much
there's
for you,
one last
filthy
goblin
beast.
there, but that we can actually handle solo. Now we're just gonna quick save here and do a hard save done with Bartok. Okie dokie. Let's loot the gobblers. One goblin there, one goblin there.
Nothing there.
And if I'm not mistaken, yep, a goblin died near the orc. Good, good, good. So, actually, why not? Let's just have Bartok be useful one last time and have him kill this goblin for us. Why not? Why not? Come on, Bartok. Draw your bow. Or weapon. If he runs out of arrows, by the way, he is gonna use his sword, or machete in this case.
That's it, I'm going back to the city. It's just too dangerous out here for me, even with two of us.
An orc right outside the city. Holy shit.
So, see ya. You can sell the skins to Bosper.
Wait a minute.
Alright.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm not going out of the city anymore. At least not anytime soon. My knees are still shaking from the scare that orc gave us.
Alrighty then, let's loot this goblin. Everything has been
Nothing to
looted.
plunder.
Nothing to plunder. Good, good, good. Now we're gonna quickly loot this goblin camp. Then go back to Hilda, the farmer's wife, for some stew, because I like to have this habit. And by the way, cute little piece of environmental storytelling. Healing plant in a pot, which indicates that goblins actually have some cooking recipes. Really, really neat design right there. I mean, I know this might not impress some people at all, but I really love seeing stuff like this in video games. And I think it was Michael Hodge. I need to learn how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. Don't speak German, but I always want to pronounce stuff correctly. He was responsible for a lot of Gothic's game design and stuff like this, and yep. Little nice detail. Developers don't need to put stuff like this in games, you know, but the fact that they do is amazing. Now let's do quick transition to Hilda and have her give us some stew. And I really want to point out that I do this because I like the character storytelling of, you know, having a habit like visiting Edda for some fish stew every day, visiting Hilda for some vegetable and meat stew every day. Really makes the game feel more alive, you know, having a habit. So, quick transition. Okay, we are back to Hilda, and I want to point out something, but first let's get our food.
Can you give me something to eat?
Here, take this. You're a good lad.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
You've had your...
We try. Now, one thing I want to point out is that since Gothic 2 came out in something like 18 months of development, which is basically light speed for... Why are we lagging in our inventory? That's interesting. It feels like the frame rate is set to 40 frames per second when we are in the inventory. That's interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Huh. What do you know? So, they didn't have time to code a sprint button, and I really wish they would have. Okay, let's eat some fried meat as well. Gonna need to fix this inventory lag in the next video. See what causes it. I think I have an idea what causes it. Now over here is... we can find a few field raiders and... These are really not dangerous, so you should treat them basically how you would treat a wolf. Okay. I can't
Nothing
wait
there.
to actually use two-handed weapons to keep all
Nothing
animals
there.
at bay. Okay, we have some meadow knotweed. So yeah, one thing I want to mention is that Gothic actually added a lot of skills in Gothic 2. One of them is alchemy, so we can finally brew our own potions, and some potions are amazing. Like, we can brew our own speed potions, which is, by the way, something that we will do. Now, over here, we only have a plant, I think, and a stone tablet, but later on there is actually a secret here. So when we're going to talk to Constantino, and then we're going to talk to a guy called Zuris, who is a potion vendor. After we talk to Zuris and ask him about Constantino's herbs, right here, a King Sorrel will spawn. Now, a King Sorrel is a super valuable plant in the game that allows us to brew permanent potions. So we can brew potions that permanently increase our mana, strength, hit points, and all that. And dexterity. Now, I think this is a great time to end the video right here, because in the next episode we'll be spending more time in Khorinis. Just, you know, doing quests, leveling up, all that jazz. So I want to wish you guys a wonderful day, and if it so happens to be on those bad days, I want to wish you the strength and wisdom to overcome it as best as you can. If you want to help support the channel, that would be freaking amazing. You can always buy me a coffee, the link is in the video description. And remember guys, the most important story in life is your own. Cheers.